it's time for change. Up until now, it has been like this. Now we move forwards, we make a change, we do it differently. We do it differently. You know, I think it was Einstein that had this quote of, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. So who has been doing the same things and using the same thinking and the same mindset for years and years and years and expecting a different outcome? Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, so does that make me insane? Maybe, huh? But so this is different. This is something different. This is not pain management up until now. So yesterday we talked about all of the things that up until now we believed to be true. All of the things that kept us stuck. All of the things that we were attached to, the I ams that we were attached to. And we started to gently unravel the conflict with the I ams, because, can I be hardworking and also be restful and still? Or is there conflict there? Will I allow myself to embody both of these elements of who I am? Can I begin to unpick these threads, these knots that I've tied for myself all the way along my life in order to get to something that feels more true, something that feels easier, that feels more restful, something that is sustainable? And so today I want to talk about step 2, which is surrender. Surrender. What does that word conjure up for you? Tell me in the comments. If you're listening on the replay, pop #replay and tell me in the comments, what does the word surrender mean to you? What's coming up for you with this word? Is it something you find easy? Or is it something that inherently you find tricky, you find a bit difficult? What does it mean? Yeah. Well, for me, surrender, it used to mean things like that means when you're defeated, you wave the white flag, I surrender. Yeah, the other side has won. I put my hands up, I surrender. I'm a prisoner of war now. I'm defeated. I lost. Maybe I felt beaten. I'm beaten. I surrender. I'm done. Yeah. Anybody resonate with that? Anybody else feel that way? That surrender can feel like I've lost. I'm broken. This is hopeless. I surrender. I can't fight anymore. I can't battle on. I'm the loser. Yeah? Or is it not? Are these all the things that surrender is not? Yeah? I used to believe those things. I used to cling on to the edge of the cliff for dear life. I will not surrender. I will battle on. Does anybody hear themselves saying things like, got to keep going, chin up, push on. Yeah, keep going. Oh, I can't rest. No, let's push on. It's a battle. I'll get through it. Pushing, battling, this can be a mindset. We can get stuck here. Surrender it's not to lose. It's not to fail. It's not to be beaten. we surrender, when we stop fighting, when we stop battling, we invite in peace. Yeah. We invite in stillness and quiet. There is like an easiness in surrender. We let go. And maybe we can accept. Maybe we accept in surrender all that is. All that is. You know, I used to believe, and, you know, let me know if this is something that rings true for you right now. But I used to believe that acceptance meant accepting that I would always be in pain. Because that's kind of what I was being taught or being told. That's kind of what I was telling other people, that when it comes to chronic pain, there comes a point when you have to just accept that it will always be there. It's incurable, right? So I better accept that I will always be in pain, because battling against it, pushing against it, like keep, you know, pushing into it, battling it, that's more painful. Yeah? Yeah, I thought this was my lot. Yeah, this is my lot. These are the cards I've been dealt. Yeah, my life is one where I'm going to be moving into the future in pain. And so I better just accept that. Because otherwise, if I don't accept it, life's going to be a lot harder. To live with this pain will be a lot harder if I don't accept it. And so we spend years trying to manage it. We spend years trying to, you know, like, oh, I accept it. But okay, so why are you still doing all the things to try and chase it down then? Why are you still, you know, doing the pain management journey if you've accepted it? This is a bitter pill, right? This is a bitter pill of acceptance. To try and swallow that pill, we need to wash it down with red wine, heavy doses of Netflix, chocolate, busyness, micromanagement, control. And then in between those times, maybe we reach out for physio or the osteopath or some Reiki or some hypnotherapy or some counseling or a massage. Perhaps we go on an expensive retreat or an expensive holiday because I need this. You know, it helps when I'm in the sunshine. It helps when I'm in the warmth. It warms my bones and I feel better. But then I come back to my reality. I come back to my home. Yeah, my body. This is your home. And I'm met with pain. And so I escape that pain through any means necessary. Numbness, disconnection, dissociation. Has anybody felt like that? Like you're just not there. I'm just not present. Like I know I was there at the party, but I don't feel like I was ever in my body. I don't feel like can't really remember what happened. Should have been a really fun day. Should have been really connected and joyful and alive. But I feel nothing. I'm in so much pain, yet I feel nothing. Anybody else resonate with that? I'm in so much pain, but I feel nothing. Because in order to feel, in order to embody, experienced in order to be present in life. We have to get back into our bodies. We have to get to the ground. We have to feel stabilized, our feet on the ground. We have to come into the body. But when we come into the body, we're met with pain. And so we disappear again. I remember really vividly, I have this memory of when my son was, he was just able to talk. So he was maybe 2 years old. And I was putting him into his car seat in the back of the car. And he said to me, "Mummy, why are you talking to yourself?" And I hadn't even realized, like, my lips were moving. So I'm going, and I realized, like, and I laughed. I said, Mummy's just talking to herself. And I realized that this is the busyness. I wasn't there. I wasn't present in that moment with my son, putting him into his car seat, connected to him, looking him in the eyes, communicating with him, sharing this mundane moment of life together. I was miles away. I was fixing, doing, planning, everything, like busy, busy, busy in my head, that I didn't even realize that my lips were moving. I was somewhere else. Who would like to be more present? Who would like to be more in their body, more in their bones? And for that place in your body, that place in your bones to feel comfortable, to feel like home, to embrace you with warmth, rather than to be sharp and prickly and full of thorns, somewhere that you want to escape from. Yeah, where you're floating outside yourself. Now, we talked a bit about surrender a while ago. We talked about this idea of surrender. And, so far we've talked about like what it's not. It doesn't have to be failure. It doesn't have to be loss. It can be easy. It can be beautiful. Surrender, right? And I when I was thinking about like what to how to bring this to you, what exercise are we going to do to really see what it is for you that is holding you in this place. Like, remember what we're talking about here? It's the root to relief, the root cause. So what do you need to surrender? What is it that you're hanging on to tightly, trying to control, trying to block out? Yeah, what's going on for you? And this image came to me of, these old-fashioned entertainers spinning plates. And I would love to show you a clip of someone spinning plates, but through fear of being blocked again, we won't do that. So I'm just going to get you to use your imagination, right? And I watched a video online, and maybe you want to look it up, like plate spinners. And there's this guy, and he's like, he's got the stick, the long pole, and another stick, and he spins the plate. And he goes to the next stick, and he spins the plate. And then he's got like some plates on the table that he's spinning. He's got some other things that he's doing over in the other corner. And then he goes to spin this one again, because whenever they lose their momentum, if they were to stop spinning, what's going to happen? They're going to fall, right? They're going to fall and they're going to smash on the floor. And he is, he's an entertainer. The whole point of the trick is that he keeps the plates spinning. And so he keeps coming back and he's like, I have to spin this plate again. I need to spin this plate again. And then he puts another plate on and then spin this plate. And before you know it, he's surrounded by these plates spinning, and he's like spinning them here, and he's running around, and, you know, all the plates are spinning and they're spinning. And it's quite stressful to watch. You're like, top left, bottom right, spin it. Oh gosh, it's going to fall. And he's running around, and it's very entertaining. But now think about that in your life. Think about all the plates that you've been spinning. Have a look around you. Yeah, my mind, Rachel says, my mind gets like that, spinning plates. Yeah, me too. Me too. That day when I was putting my little boy in the car, I was spinning plates in my head. Planning, fixing, organizing. I was miles away. I was in the past, having those conversations, those arguments, saying the things that I should have said, doing the things that I should have done in the past. And then I was jumping ahead into the future, planning what I was going to do, all the things that needed to be done, all of the ones that were going to be happening. Yeah? 100% this, someone says, you know, spinning back, left, right, center. Surrender is when we take a look around at all of those spinning plates and we stop. And we take a big, deep breath. And we allow them to stop spinning. We allow them to stop spinning. We give ourselves permission to not be the orchestrator, to the entertainer, the controller of all that is spinning around us. I do me. And I need to stop. Yeah, when I talked about surrender before, I called it ready, steady, stop. Ready, steady, stop. And why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to stop? Even though I want to, even though I know that this is not sustainable, even though I'm in so much pain, it's agony and I want out. Enough is enough and I want out. But why can't I stop running around spinning the plates? Tell me in the comments, why can't I stop? Why can't you stop running around and spinning the plates? What happens when you stop spinning the plates? What happens? Just stand there for a moment. Have a look around you at all the plates that you're spinning in your life. Just be with that image for a moment. Just be there. Look around. Future plates, past plates, perceived plates. If I stop spinning them, I have to watch them fall. Yes, Rachel, fear of lack of control, of disaster, of failure. Yeah, I failed. It's lack of control. If I stop spinning those plates, I'm no longer in control. As long as I keep spinning it, I'm in control of what happens to it. I avert the disaster. But you know, is the disaster there? Or does the disaster disappear if I keep spinning the plates? Does the failure disappear if I keep spinning the plates? The lack of control, does spinning the plates take away the lack of control? Or does it just like postpone it? Does it just keep it there, like in the shadows, in the background? Yeah. So while I'm spinning the plates, I'm always fearful of the disaster. I'm always fearful of the failure. I'm always fearful of the lack of control. This word fear. So if I allow myself to go past that fear, to lean into the fear, if I allow the plates to fall, now what? So just stand there again and you're spinning plates. Watch them slow down. Feels uncomfortable. Want to reach out, want to keep spinning that plate. But I'm just going to try this. I'm going to let it slow down and stop and fall off of its incredibly, it's the word that I'm looking for. Like it's been teetering on there, hasn't it? I mean, it's barely been supported in the first place. And I'm going to let it fall. And watch it fall, and that hits the floor and it shatters. One by one, past plates, future plates. Yeah? Like a Greek wedding. I've never been to one, but, I've heard they smash plates. Must be very liberating, huh? It's a precarious position. Yeah, it feels, smash, disaster, catastrophe going off all around you. And then what? What happens now? All the plates are shattered. They're all broken. They're all on the floor. How does that feel? What is there to do now? Like in my body, I feel this, it's like a calmness actually. Now when I look around myself, and it's like, I can see it. I can see the disaster. I can see the mess. But there's nothing to do. No more plates to spin. It's like a tingling all over my body. Nothing to do. Nothing to fix or plan or organize. It can just be like right here in this spot where I am, observing. An observer of all that is around me, and begin to realize that I was never in control. I was never averting the disaster. It was never my responsibility, to stop the plates from hitting the ground. I kind of, these were pressures that I put on myself. No one told me that. No one told me to do that. I kind of felt like I had to, like it was my job to make everything okay. We talked yesterday about these personality traits, people pleasing, overly controlling, overachieving, taking responsibility. What were some of the other ones that we talked about yesterday? Perfectionism, wanting everything to be perfect. Being non-confrontational, not wanting to argue about anything, like wanting to keep the peace. Over-compromising. And many of these things, I don't want anyone to go away thinking, oh gosh, all of these, I'm all of those things. That must mean I'm a bad person. That must mean my personality is, it's like sucks. It's just not the case. It's not the case, right? That's not what we're saying here. Many of these things, they are beautiful things. It is beautiful to be a non-confrontational person. It's beautiful to want things to be perfect, to want to achieve, to want to help others, to want to take responsibility, to be the one that compromises. But we just need to learn how to contain that so that we can feel safe. We can be who we are, because we can't change who we are, but we want to feel safe as who we are. We want to feel like that it's okay, and that we're not, we can't be in control of it all. That is unmanageable, right? Life becomes unmanageable. And so surrender is when we stop spinning plates, right? It's when we stop trying to overly control everything, to be responsible for everyone. And what makes it hard, why many of us have taken so long to get to this place, and we're in so much pain, is because we have to be willing to let go. When you're clinging to the cliff, when you're hanging on for dear life, I'm hanging on and I'm hanging on and I'm hanging on and I'm tense and it gives me headache and I'm thinking and I'm analysing and I'm fixing and I'm planning and I've got all the weight of the world and the responsibility and it's on my shoulders. It's up to me. When we're in that place, that is a very precarious position, right? That's a very precarious position to be in. And in order to come back into our bodies and feel safe, we need to be grounded. We need to find the ground. Yeah, if you heard what I said, the last thing that I talked about yesterday was about finding the ground, den grond finden, to find the reason, the root cause. Because at the ground, we can stop, we can be still, we can put our foundations, we can dig our foundations in the ground, and we can build again. You can't build again from the cliff. You have to be willing to let go, to let all the plates drop. And what happens when you let go, right? You fall, and that is uncomfortable. Swirling, spiraling, hurtling towards the ground, falling. I have this memory from being a child, and my brother and I were building a tree house in the garden. And I stood on a branch that wouldn't support my weight. And I fell out of this tree house. And I remember it was like a willow tree. Yeah, not a weeping willow, like a, I don't know what kind of willow it was, but I'm told it was a willow tree. And I just remember kind of falling and feeling these leaves, these branches, as I fall, kind of snapping, breaking, like feeling it all like, And the more branches there are, like the more things we hit on the way down, it's kind of going to slow our descent, right, to the ground. But it's inevitable. Ground is coming. And often the anticipation of it is worse than the actual, hitting the ground. I mean, obviously, this is just a metaphor and just a memory and things, like no one needs to fall out of a tree for this. But this is, this idea of why it's so difficult, why we've all found it so hard to let go of control, because this is the feeling that we get, to be out of control, to be falling, to be hurtling towards the ground, to know that it's coming, like that kind of rock bottom. Yeah. And, that's uncomfortable. But you don't have to do it on your own. Yeah. That's why I created this group, this community. That's why I invite you to reach out and book a call with me. And even if it's not me, like it doesn't have to be me. I can't support everyone. Yeah, I can't support everyone. I can come here and I can go live and we can talk like this. But to empower you, to encourage you to become aware, and some of the awareness that's already coming out in the group, like who's already had some aha moments? And we're only like halfway through day 2. Who's already had those like aha moments of like, yes, that's me. That's what I've been doing. Could this be the root cause of my pain? And if it is, if that's resonating with you, then I encourage you to begin to do the work to recover. Yeah, to invest in a guide in order to recover. Because you've already, like the falling and the doing that, the decision, like even just the decision to let go, like that's the hard part, yeah? It's really easy to fall. Gravity's going to do that for you. Yeah, the apple will fall from the tree, like the decision to let go, consciously let go and surrender. That's the hard part, and you've already done that. You've already done that. Or maybe you haven't just yet. But that's okay too. That's all right too. You're here, and that is one more step on your journey than you were before. 1% improvement. If we can improve 1% consistently, then eventually we're going to reach the goal, right? It's coming. And there will be setbacks. There will be times when we stop, times when it gets hard. But then we just make that decision again. And we make that 1% improvement again. And then eventually we'll get there, as long as we don't give up. Yeah, as long as we don't allow ourselves to be hopeless, defeated, to call it failure, to make it mean failure. Surrender is none of those things. Surrender is the decision to let go of all that we were never in control of in the first place. Yeah, to stop taking it upon myself to avert all the disaster. And what really helped me with this process was understanding the idea that there is something bigger than me guiding me. There is something greater than me. For a long time, like when I was spinning those plates, it's like I was playing God. Yeah? Does anybody get that? I was like trying to control and micromanage everything, making it all my responsibility. And so when I relieve myself of that responsibility, when I believe in something greater than me, when I believe in something like guiding me, supporting me from above and below, like the earth under my feet, even if that can be whatever you want it to mean, right? It doesn't have to be like a God, like a religious sense. It's more an idea, a trust, a faith. The ground will support you. It will hold you if you let it, yeah? If you let yourself come to rest on the ground, there's nowhere else to go. It will support you if you let it. So I just want to take a couple of minutes now. I've spoken a lot. Take out your pens and your piece of paper. What plates have you been spinning? What have you been trying to control? What's the disaster that you've been trying to avert? The failure that you have been trying to avoid? The responsibility that you've been taking on that isn't yours? Start to write a list now. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to just free write. And maybe these plates are plates from the past. Maybe these plates that you've been spinning, that you've been trying to hang on to, are old. Been spinning that for a long time. Or maybe they're in the future. You haven't even got there yet. Something that you're worrying about, that you are like predicting, that you feel that you have to spin a plate for, that you're not even there yet. And have a look to your left and have a look to your right. Write them down. When we write them down, when we're not just thinking them, when you're just thinking about all the plates, it can also feel quite stressful. Yeah, like I have to do something, I have to remember them. When we make a physical decision, I just picked up the first pencil that's on my desk, and it's a beautiful one. When we make the decision to pick up our pencil and begin to write, we pick up our piece of paper and we write it down. There is a connection that is made from the head down into the hand, and we can put it onto the paper. We can put that down on the paper. Get it out. So I really encourage you, even if you don't have an opportunity now to write it down, to do it later. Before you go to bed at night is a really good time to write down all of the plates that you're spinning. Maybe have a journal by your bedside, or maybe not even a journal, because I don't know if you're like me, I would go out and buy these beautiful journals. Like I have one at home. I've had it for years now, and it's leather, and it's like got this beautiful string that wraps around it and ties into it. And it cost me a lot of money, this journal. So much money that I don't want to write in it. And oh my gosh, I'm certainly not going to write in it and tear a page out and rip it up or burn it. So, you know, get some like scrap pieces of paper, yeah? Keep them by your bedside. The printing errors that you've got, all of that scrap paper, keep a little pile of it on your bedside, and you can use those to write down all of the rubbish, all of the negative thinking, all of the stuff we're going to get rid of, all that does not serve you. You're ready to let go of. A few more moments of getting it all out. And if you need more time, you know, then you can watch this again. You can put it on the replay. This is not a one and done. Constantly find myself like spinning plates. Just thought of this analogy today, and it's like, yeah, like this is what I need to share. Just because you take the plates down or you let them fall doesn't mean that you're not going to fall back again into those old habits and spin again and again and again and again. And you have to make the decision again and again to let go, to surrender, to allow it to fall, to trust in something greater than yourself. It's not all up to me. It is what it is. That's what my little voice is. It is what it is. All right. You can put your pen down. How did that feel? To get it out. To get it on the paper. Maybe there are some things on your list that surprise you. Didn't realize I was doing that even. When we just allow ourselves to free write and to just get it all out and onto the page, we give ourselves permission to let it go. Yeah, it can be surprising. Rach says surprising. Yeah, it can be. It can be surprising. I didn't even realize that was still bothering me. Yeah, what happened all that time ago? Didn't realize I was still holding on to that. I was still spinning that plate. There's a story about a teacher, and she's teaching some young children, maybe they're like 6 or 7 years old, about this kind of concept of all the things that we're carrying. And she had lots of potatoes, a big pile of potatoes. I don't know if anybody knows like who this was, this story. I just heard this story, comes to mind now. And she got them to take a potato for everything that they're worrying about right now. Like there's something that's on your mind, something that happened, something that's going to happen in the future, something that you're worried about, something that is concerning for you. Take a potato, write on it, you know, dentist or something, and put it in your bag. And take one for every worry. And you're just going to carry your bag with you throughout the day. And every time you think of a new worry or something else comes to your mind, you take another potato and put it in your bag. Now what happens by the end of that day, huh? The bag is going to get real heavy. Going to have to carry that bag around with me. If you've been carrying a huge sack of potatoes, maybe you've got 2 sacks by now, yeah? 3 sacks. Maybe you're like one of these donkeys that's like, you know, climbing a mountain with everything and the kitchen sink on its back, weighing you down, carrying it all. And, you know, the dentist, doesn't affect the dentist that you're worrying about him. Yeah, you don't know that you're concerned about that. I mean, it's not even happened yet. You haven't even got there. Or it happened in the past and you're just like, you know, oh gosh, been to the dentist and in 6 months I've got to go again. And you're carrying this weight, and you know, there are many dentists that we're carrying around in our back, on our backs. And so then eventually this poor donkey, this poor you with these sacks, starts to get knee pain. Your shoulders ache. You get a headache. Yeah. You get like tension in your back, in your hips, in your feet, in your knees. There's a ringing in your ears. Yeah. You've got a rash on your skin. Your digestion's off. You're exhausted from carrying all of these sacks, all of these bags around with you for years and years and years. You're feeling bitter and resentful and anger, but we're not allowed to feel all those things because we're nice people. We're good people. We don't have confrontation. Yeah. And so then you go to the doctor with all of your sacks, with all of your, you know, your invisible baggage. And we go to the doctor and we explain all of our symptoms that's going on for us. And we get sent to the gastroenterologist for the gut problems, or the neurologist for the head, or the rheumatologist for the joints, or the dermatologist for the skin. We get sent for MRI scans for the back, or x-rays, blood tests. The list goes on and on and on of investigations. And yeah, we might find something, but like we talked about already with beliefs, you know, often there's no correlation between what we find in the scans and the symptoms themselves. Yeah, we know this. This is the science. This is the research. This is what it tells us. And if we were to scan, well, they have done it. When they scanned healthy people, the healthy population, they found that these findings were normal. So it's only when we look for them that we attribute meaning to them. When we get the symptoms and then we look around and we try and find, you know, through our analytical minds, like what's going on here, and we start to attribute blame. We start to blame, view, and do. Yeah, we attribute blame to the osteophytes or the degenerative joints. We call it arthritis. We call it, whatever, fibromyalgia. We give it a name. But all the time, and so we go to physiotherapy. And the physiotherapist says, oh, yeah, we all, I can see there's some weakness there. There's some muscle shortening there. You've got some difficulties with your posture. I see that you're hunched over, you're weighed down, your chin's out, you're like this. It's like you're missing like something. You can't see it. You can't see all this baggage I'm carrying, all of this heavy weight I'm carrying. No wonder I'm stooped. No wonder, like, I am weighed down. No wonder my knees are buckling under the weight. No wonder I'm exhausted. Because the root cause of the problem is invisible to the analytical, modern medical eye. I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking for that, not asking about that. And we don't see it. And until we become aware of it, all of the potatoes in the sack, all of the luggage that the donkey's carrying, that is causing it to collapse, that's causing the knees to ache, that's causing the fatigue and the poor posture. Like, what does someone look like when they're under strain? Like, how do they carry themselves? How do they hold themselves when they're feeling down and sad and depressed? Do they have their shoulders back and their chest held high and their chin tucked in? Are they walking around commanding the room? No. When I'm weighed down and I'm full of stress and I'm full of tension, I'm like, yeah. My shoulders are rolled forwards. My hips are flexed. My tummy muscles, they're weak. They're kind of sagging. This is the posture of stress, of tension, of protection, of survival, right? It's kind of. And so just having a look at your list. Can't get rid of it all at once, We're not going to shake the bottle of Coca-Cola up and open the lid and let it all gush out at once. Yeah. Just going to gently unload. Going to take one potato out at a time. Slowly, in a way that is supported. Place it into a held container. Plant it in the ground. Yeah. Slowly, slowly. With awareness, stepping back into our bodies, building a strong, steady foundation and shielding ourselves from what's come in, because just because we said we're going to do this work and we're going to start unloading doesn't mean that we're not going to be tested. Our boundaries aren't going to be tested and things aren't going to start, potatoes aren't going to start wanting to sneak their way back in. That's why I offer support. That's why I created this community. That's why I'm doing this challenge, to support you. Yeah, in community, in a held way. To give you this message that maybe you haven't heard before. Yeah, who's been on this journey for a really, really long time, the pain management journey, and hasn't heard this stuff before, hasn't been told this in this way before. And how does it make you feel now that you know that there is a choice? Continued choice. It's not one and done. You can choose. I hope it makes you feel empowered. I hope that it makes you feel hopeful. Yeah, we've got one more day together, and tomorrow is all about awakening. Yeah. So look down your list, look across your list, all the things that you've been spinning. Maybe pop them in the comments if you want to share. And kind of maybe make a decision. Maybe it's too much to say, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let this plate drop. But just bring it into your awareness. Just consider it. Consider what it might feel like, what it might give you on the other side if you were to let some of that go. Tomorrow we look at awakening the truth. Okay, so we'll talk a bit more about some of that truth, the difficult stuff, the difficult feelings that maybe we've been avoiding, some of the potatoes that we might take out that are surprising to us. This is awakening. When we become aware of it, when we can acknowledge it, this is awakening to it. Okay, this is coming out of that dreamy kind of, I just can't deal with it. It's all too much. And standing in stillness, grounded, embodied. I see you. I see you. And actually, I accept that there is nothing to do here. I can accept that it is what it is. But that's tomorrow. Right now, we're in surrender. And there's been a lot. Maybe a lot's been coming up for you in this last hour. A lot of realization. A lot of kind of stirring of that pot. You know, I've used this analogy before about when the water settles and it kind of gives you this illusion of like clear water. If you like, but then you stir things up again. You know, we've done a bit of stirring today. All right, so take it easy. Drink plenty of water. Be still. Do nothing. Okay? Don't run out and start to try and fix everything. Don't rush into doing. Yeah, we can be triggered into that reactiveness. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fix, plan, or organize. All right? Just allow yourself to begin to see it, to become aware of it.